Today we have a special treat for you. Today we're going to take you inside Winning Solutions Northwind Traders database template. This one looks a little bit different than our other templates. Northwind Traders is a sample database put out by Microsoft for use in their instructional courses. You may not be interested in the Northwind Traders database itself, but the idea of a template is you could take this if you have a business, a similar business of your own, where you're taking wholesale orders, you're sending out orders to customers, you're invoicing, you're shipping, you're replenishing inventory, you have a sales staff, that type of thing. It's going to be the same level of operation. So you're not going to be selling Northwind Traders chocolate or drying peaches or chicken soup, but you have inventory of your own, whether you're running your own trading company, whether you're selling on eBay or Amazon. Our templates are designed in order to be customized, integrated with other applications. They're not necessarily meant to be used as is. So let's take you through some of the features of the database. Actually, I'm going to close and reopen it first. The first thing I'm going to get is a login screen. Now, you notice I can select any employee and there is no password. This is something you may wish to add, but again, as I said, these are intentionally generic. So you can certainly, in fact, we would recommend that you add a password field. So let's log in as Laura Giussiami, and we're immediately presented with what looks like a rather complex screen. But let's break this down. First of all, you have a currently logged in user. We have a link for a new customer order, or a new purchase order. Now, it looks like we're going to need a new purchase order. Just eyeballing this, it does appear like, oh, we don't have quantities available of a lot of different things. So, well, that's going to happen, right? Here we see Laura's active orders, of which there aren't any. And so let's go ahead and take a look at these links on the right side. Well, actually, we can look at, let's start with these links. We can click on the link for a product to view the detail. Product ID, product code. Well, again, for you, these are going to be different products, but you may have various suppliers. You may have multiple. We'll just keep it to one here to be, if it's simple. And again, standard cost, list price, reorder level. We reorder when our quantity gets down to 10. We want to have 40 in stock. And we're going to, by default, reorder in units of 10, but of course that can be changed. There's likely, okay, I was going to say that there's not likely to be a purchase history, but there is a purchase history. We see there were orders placed. Okay, no wonder we're running low. There hasn't been an order placed in almost 20 years. So let's go in and close this for now. And let's go to these quick links on the right. So view inventory is as it suggests. Now we cannot edit any of these, and that is by design, at least in a template, if you wanted to make that. And in the full gear, you certainly could do that. I'm not sure I would recommend that because, you don't want to be able to go in and not have a paper trail. In other words, you don't want to just, well, I'll just say we have 100 of these. Of course, we never order them, but they kind of appeared out of thin air, right? So yeah, if for an accounting purposes, it's not a paper trail. You want to enforce what we call business rules. And that is, you want the data integrity to be there. You don't want things that are mismatched. So let's get out of this for now. We'll just give a general overview, and then we'll go into some more details. View orders, and you can see there have been plenty of orders placed in the past. I am not seeing any order from our user here. Why? We'll just... And of course, you can actually even change to another user here. Again, you may not want to enable that, or you might want to have an administrative user who can't change users. Again, that's your decision. Where do we leave off? View customers. And again, a list of customers we sell to. Now, the general idea of Northwind Traders is the company in this database, you are buying from suppliers, and you're selling as wholesale. It seems apparent from the way this is set up that we are not selling retail. If you do sell retail, that's fine too. Again, this could all be adjusted. So these are customers that we would sell to, and you see the job titles as purchasing representative, owner, purchasing manager. So presumably these are companies that you sell wholesale to, but of course, again, it doesn't have to be that way. That's just the way the sample is set up. Now let's close this, and let's go to view purchase orders. And again, these are incoming orders. You see supplier A, supplier, the suppliers that these are coming from, suppliers themselves. Again, so these are where the suppliers are being bought from, and the customers are where the products are being sold to. You know, it says company A versus supplier A. Okay, so employees, this is where we can do employees or even add employees where needed. The shippers, not going to be a whole lot in here, but of course, you know, you could put whatever National Postal Service applies. You can put that in this list, certainly. Sales reports, we won't open any of these right now. Maybe with 10. Let's see. Sales by category, beverages, let's say. Sales by category, and we'll go to formerly sales. There probably aren't any sales in 2025. So let's put a different year in. So this is an interesting situation. The years here are limited to whatever is in the drop-down box. Since 2006 is a valid year, I'm going to say yes, and we're going to edit the list box so that we can add 2006 as a valid year. I'll set 2006 as the default. Now, you may wish to make this a free-form box where you simply type in the year. So let's go ahead and go to our monthly sales report. And we could see, okay, so we just got the category but didn't get the product. And finally, view employee schedule. You know, you may not want to go down to this level of detail, but it's available if you do. And the interface here is a typical interface that we use in our calendar applications. We do have calendars available in separate templates as well. So with that out of the way, let's go into actually making some orders and using the database. So we have logged in as Henry Plantagenet. He's, of course, our UK sales rep. So let's go put in a new customer order. And so this is for customer, let's just pick company L. And where the salesperson is us. Let's leave the email address out. Let's put today's date, and let's start filling in the order details. So, and of course, we have all of the products in here. So let's see. Ooh, dried apples. I love dried apples. Ooh, crab bait too. I'm getting hungry looking at this. Okay. Coffee and crab meat. Why not? Why not? Although I think that some of these we may not have in stock. As a matter of fact, we have almost nothing in stock. So let's counter demonstrate this by putting in olive oil. Olive oil, we have 15 in stock, so that should be okay. And you see, this is the unit price, and the unit price is in that products menu we had earlier. Let's put in, say, 10 units of coffee, or maybe 8 units. Now, we can't do this, of course, because we have insufficient inventory. We're going to have to create a purchase order. Now, the user logged in does not have authority to create a purchase order. It looks like only Andrew Sensini is the one who can approve the purchase order. See, I can't even select it, but we can still make the purchase order for his approval, which that could be changed. And you can have add red menus to change these things, but let's not take harp on that right now. Let's say expected date at the end of the month. And probably won't put on the proof date yet, but let's say want to bring in more than 8 because there could be a big demand. So let's get 100 of them. Oops, typed that by accident. But you can see the program will prevent typing anything that doesn't make sense, like a letter. So there's a total price, and we cannot approve this yet. I think we can do the purchase order for the dried apples as well. Let's go 50 units at 40 each. That's going to be 2,000, and maybe this one might take a little longer. We can't put in an approved date yet. We can't process the order yet. See, its status is on order. Now, the olive oil is okay, but these have a status of on order, so I can't be an invoice. I can put in shipping information, a shipping fee of $25, and we can then create an invoice, but we can't because there's no inventory. So let's go ahead and close this. We need to approve those purchase orders first. You see, the active orders appears in my records. Of course, it's active. Let's go in as Mr. Sassini. So you would probably want to put in a security system, but let's go ahead and View the purchase order. So we're now the purchase owner supervisor. I'm going to go in and view purchase orders. So I'm going to double click on this purchase order to open it. And I'm going to approve the purchase. And let's do that for the other one too. Okay. Now, when we go back to Northwind Traders Coffee, let's go ahead and close this. So before we finish the order, we're going to have to go back into the administrative user. We have one more step. We have to go to the purchase orders that were submitted. And we have to go to inventory receiving. Okay, this is added to inventory, but I think there was another one. So we have to actually go through and add to inventory. And now we can go back into the original salesperson. Let's see, olive oil was never the problem. Let's go to the dried apples. There's 15 available, so I'll just say 10. I'll select coffee then, with a quantity of 8. Now you see the status is allocated. But now all of the inventory is allocated. It's available to be shipped. And now we can put in the shipping and payment information. Payment information is cash. We will go ahead and ship the order now that we have the information in. Oh, we can't. We have to invoice first before we can ship out. Everything in order. And as you can see, the invoice is fairly generic, but you can make it customized, of course, just like everything else. This is meant to be customized. You can put in your own logo, your own fonts, whatever you want. So when the invoice has been created, now we can go ahead and ship. Oh, shipping information. Go ahead and ship the order. And now finally, it's the payment information's in there, so we can go ahead and complete the order. The order is now marked closed. So if we close, we see, or we have to refresh this. It's no longer in active orders. And of course, we could do this. We can add or remove customers as needed. We can add or remove employees. They've already seen that. Suppliers, shippers. We can add a product here. Laughing Lumberjack Logger. This is an actual product or actual product used to see in Northwind. So I'm not making this up. I always found this amusing. Anyway, give this a product code and a category, beverage or beverages. I'm not sure which. Select suppliers, quantity per unit. Let's say per dozen. Standard cost of $60, etc. I will just fill in the rest of the information here. Now, of course, you may be saying, well, today, am I really going to hand these one by one? No, I mean, certainly there are methods by which we can add products, add customers, add suppliers in mass amounts. We can put in the future to import large lists of inventories, products through importation from Excel, for example. We can import from and export to Excel spreadsheets. So there's a lot of different things. There's the ways in which this can be customized is, for all intents and purposes, infinite. Let's do one more thing. Let's go back to the sales reports. Although I think we get the idea. Let's go by employee, monthly sales, and let's go back to 2005, April 2005, and preview. Of course, there are no sales in that time period. We can search 2006, although again, you can see that it's not in the drop-down box. So we'll have to go through the same process as we did before to add 2006 as a valid year. You, of course, may choose to have a free-form year entry instead of a drop-down. You get the feeling most of these sales are in 2006. You can see monthly sales report by employee. So this is a demonstration of the Northwind Traders database template. You can find these and all of our templates on our website at microsoftaccessexpert.com. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration and find it useful. Thank you for watching.